Yo, what's up? We're here for a Couple of Cuckoos, chapter 230 today, and it's a little late. It dropped yesterday, but was it 2 days ago at this point? I mean, I just read it, so kind of hype. So before the chapter, just a little recap. Erika and Nagi, they were living separately and then trying to get along with their real families. I think it was cool how it was done. I didn't really like how Nagi's mom was like almost really like super aggressive really at the beginning, but she warmed up and they started to get along. The renovations just got done, and yeah, they're just moving back into the Umi house. Basically just going from there. So we start off with like a line message from Nagi's dad, or biological dad, Soichiro, basically just saying, you guys are moving back in starting tomorrow, and the renovations are done. Yeah, and then we have the cover page, which is just a little Instagram post of Sachi, looking pretty cool, and posted up. Not much to say about it, pretty cool. Nagi's in the back, so we know it's a little older, but it's pretty cool, yeah. So, also the chapter is called Come Back Anytime, chapter 230, so it's like one of the biggest lines that was said in this chapter. So I'm assuming this is part of the last day, and they're basically just going through, well, Nagi's going through his old yearbooks with his biological mom, or not yearbooks, but just like photos, like baby photos and whatever. And she's like looking at him, commenting, saying how he really looks like his brother. And then Nagi goes and asks the question, why don't my brother and my dad get along? And she was trying to give an answer, but she doesn't really even know. So she said something happened back almost like a decade ago, that after they went to like an amusement park when Nagi's brother was like 12. But yeah, I mean, the most she knows really about it is that Sosuke was going to get sent off to England, and I'm assuming he just didn't want to do that and take over the business. So that's probably the reason. I don't know, we're definitely going to get more of it, because it almost seems like a little Kaguya, Love is War type thing. I don't know. Kaguya, I didn't really like the ending of it, but this series is a little different, so a lot different. So it's not probably gonna end like that. But I think we're just doing like a little arc that's kind of like that. If you've read Kaguya, I don't want to spoil it. But now Nagi's like actual mom is warmed up to him, so she's starting to like express her emotions or like her feelings towards Nagi. And she said that when she first saw him, that she really felt like a connection with him, and that she knew that was his son, or that was her son. Take that for what you will. I mean, she didn't really do nothing about it. Like, I don't know, but I mean, I guess they did. They got married, like the arranged marriage or whatever. But whatever. All right, and then so the last little talk that Nagi and his mom had was then just about how she wants Nagi to tell them two to make up, and then he kind of looks disgusted or whatever, not really into it. And then we cut to a panel of Sachi at the Umino house, and it's basically just a mess because Erika is has all of her clothes, just throwing them away, basically only use them once or twice and then just tosses them. So I think she's just trying to use this place as a dump for real, but I don't know what she's trying to do. I mean, right now, she kind of looks like a brat, kind of spoiled, just going through, oh, I have so many clothes, and this button broke because my boobs are too big. Like, okay. And then her biological mom comes in and is like, hey, I can show you how to fix this if you really want to. And then she kind of got more interested in like the actual clothes, because she could see that she could repair them. So that was really cool to see that she's not just like if given the opportunity, she will still be interested in, not frugality, but like caring for her things. The Umino house really does seem like more of a like home vibe, if that makes sense. It's more of like, just more like friendly, welcoming. Well, the Amano house is more just like structured, very structured, and people aren't home all the time, just working, but that's just how it is. But yeah, it's really good to see that Erika and, Nagi didn't really change all too much, but it's good to see some character development from Erika, showing that she could also be a normal human too. So yeah, so then Erika does have like a little exchange with her mom about like, oh, I knew this was my like real child or whatever. But yeah, Erika, I don't know, she's kind of just self-absorbed in how she sewed together a button back on her shirt. So what I find really interesting is that Erika's biological mom was like, oh, after she gave birth, she was like, she thought she heard the people saying that it's a girl, but then she like passed out, and then they brought back a boy. So she assumed that she just misheard, but in reality, she probably didn't miss here. It was, they swapped at birth, which, okay. I just find that pretty cool. And then, yeah, she was just like, oh, I could tell right away once I saw you that you were my real child. And then the line of the chapter, Erika's mom hugs her and then says, you can come back to this house anytime you want. This is your house too. So, little sweet reunion. Well, after a month of being together, but, little sweet, like, departure. And then the dad's crying, over dramatic, whatever. And then right before Erika's about to leave, she talks to Sachi a little bit, and Sachi says, I look after you so much that I can tell who's the big sister here. I'm assuming it's just, word for word what she's saying, kind of like she thinks she's like just a big, like the better like sister, not better sister, but she does more of like takes care of the stuff around, because Erika's low-key kind of incompetent. I don't know, the expression that she gives is kind of like, Erika, you are reliable when you need to be. But I don't know when she ever needed to be in this past month, but there's that. All right, and then we jump straight to when Nagi and Erika reunite at the house. They're both standing in front, cool little panel. They just walk into the house. From the looks of it, they can't really see that much has changed on the inside. I mean, there's a few like new painted walls, and then there's a sink that got redone. But for the most part, it kind of looks very similar. Erika doesn't really seem confused, but she seems more of like aloof and doesn't really care, and just like saying that nothing really was changed. Nagi's just pointing out like the small details that were changed, which, props on him. He's just very observant, very on top of everything. Oh, and then also the ceiling light, because, Erika broke that. So now Erika's, goes and complains. Yeah, she's just, she's basically just still complaining about how nothing too much was changed about the house. And then they have a little exchange about, I'm glad that I was able to go to your, the house that you grew up in and got to experience what it was like to live there for, a month's time. And then they also talk about how they got closer with their biological parents. And then a really cool panel that I see is what Nagi said. Basically, I think it's really cool that Nagi says how he thinks it's very like pretty cool and special that they have 4 parents. It's like a little thing that they share together. Especially, it's really nice that they both get along with all of them. Everyone just kind of gets along together, and it's a pretty positive environment. And then, cute little panel with Erika saying, agreeing. So after this, they're like, okay, they're at the same house, right? But they're living in 2 separate rooms. The rooms are on top of each other. Well, not on top of each other. The rooms are on the top floor, but they're separated, right? So one here and one here. They're like, oh, Nagi's like, I'm gonna go study. And then Erika's like, I'm just gonna go to bed. And then we get the funny double spread, right? They open their doors and then they shut them. What we see is a straight on of both of them now somehow in the same room, but enlarged, right? So the wall in the middle got cut off, and that was the big renovation, which is pretty funny. I don't see a bed here. So I see 2 couches and that's about it. So I guess the beds would be farther on the edges, but both of them are kind of freaking out now, asking why the rooms get combined, and realizing now that was the renovation that happened. And that's where the chapter ends. Really about this chat, like, I want to say it's basically just like a little progression of the story, helping to tie up loose ends, just so now both Nagi and Erika have better relationships with, all of their parents, instead of waiting until way later in the story to do that, because now we're trying to shift our focus to Nagi going up against his brother in a way. With the hotel business. So I think it's nice that they're able to kind of add some character development or some relationship development between that now, instead of just saving it all for later and then when too much stuff is happening. But yeah, when it comes to the renovations of the house, I'm not too sure how I feel about it. I mean, it's funny, it's comical, but probably nothing's gonna happen of it. Pretty cool chapter, had a lot of information. It wasn't super artwork heavy. But yeah, I mean, very good chapter. Excited to see what comes next. I don't think there's a break next week, so I'll be reading that as well as a bunch of other series. So if you just want to know the rom-coms I'm reading, or basically anything that I'm reading, and you just want to see someone else's take on it, then I'm here. That's about it.